Welcome to the Bath and Beauty brand Time Management Toolkit. I'm really very excited to provide this walkthrough because I know time management is an area that many of us struggle with. Whether you're running a very small lab out of your house or whether you are a part of a big R&D team in industry, trying to juggle all the different requirements of formulating and manufacturing skincare and hair care products can be really, really tricky. So, the purpose of this toolkit is to provide some simple and easy to use resources and tools to help you to effectively manage your time, improve efficiency, make more products, and ultimately have more products to sell. So, this instruction guide and video provides all the resources with easy to access links so that you can get quick and easy access to the tools included in the toolkit. Now, I'm going to quickly jump to what you need to have before you get started. So, as I mentioned before, there are direct links throughout this toolkit, throughout this document. But some of the tools you will have to access in Canva. So you're going to need a Canva account, which is free. Several of the tools are also either Google Docs or Google Sheets. So you will need a Google account in order to access those as well. 7 of the 8 tools are fully customizable, which means that you can easily use them to suit the specific requirements for your lab and your workshop. So, depending on what products you are formulating and what products you are developing and manufacturing, you can fully customize the 7 of the 8 items that you can find in this toolkit. So, let's start with the first one. Because I recognize the importance of managing time and the fact that so many of us struggle with trying to figure out what is the most efficient thing to do next, I had a Facebook live training, and included in this work in this toolkit is a replay of that training. So you can simply just click on the button to access the unlisted YouTube video that takes you through the entire training, which has 10 steps or 10 strategies that will help you easily and quickly improve efficiency in your lab and ensure that you are managing your time most effectively. Then the second resource that is available is the product development checklist. Now, irrespective of what kind of product you are developing, whether it is a skincare product, whether it is a hair care product, the basic steps for developing a product are the same. You have to generate your ideas, you have to do your market research and surveys, you have to conceptualize the product fully in customer centric terms. You have to do the research on the product to ensure that you have all the information required to make a safe and stable product. Then you have to develop your product. So that's the development of the formulation itself or sourcing the formulation, then doing your procurement, inventory management, and then moving into prototyping. Then you need to test your products. You need to evaluate your product to see if they're matching the actual requirements that your customer will need. So getting persons to test them out, to give you feedback, doing stability studies, re-prototyping if required, developing your packaging and labeling, and especially to ensure that they're compliant, costing your products, and developing your technical documentation. This is going to be required for all products irrespective of what you are working on, and this is also included in the toolkit. Then, once products are developed, you now need to produce those, right, to get them to market. And similarly speaking, the batch manufacturing or production takes a similar type of set of steps. Okay, so irrespective of what kind of products you are putting to market, they're the same set of steps that are going to be required. You need to know your batch size, you need to develop a record, you need to procure your raw materials and supplies, ensure that you have your inventory management system updated with all this information and all these new resources that you have for production, setting up your workspace, checking all the equipment to ensure that everything works, actually implementing your formulation, doing quality control checks, packaging your products, doing the final checks, storing, distributing, and cleaning up and maintenance, and then doing ensuring that all your documents are in place, which is required by most regulatory agencies. Most jurisdictions require that you have proper documentation for all products that are put on the market, where the public can access your products. So this checklist again is fundamental, and what both checklists allow, both the product development checklist and the batch manufacturing checklist allow, is that you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to do next. If you implement this in your operation, you will find that product development and batch manufacturing happens at a far quicker pace and a far more efficient pace. So these two tools we utilize in our labs, and they're probably one of my favorite tools because it helps us to clearly see and map out what we need to do at every step during product development and during batch manufacturing. So these are also included in the toolkit. When you're developing products, it is or manufacturing products, one thing that I see often, particularly in brands that are just starting out, even some established brands too, is that they have their formulations scribbled in a notebook somewhere, just in random places. And that can be a very inefficient way of ensuring that you have all your documentation ready for manufacturing or for redevelopment or for reformulating. So it is very important that you have master formulations for all of your products. So when you're going into production, you know exactly where to find your formulations, and you are also confident that your formulations do produce high quality and stable products. This doesn't only help in terms of efficiency and productivity and enhancing those, but it also ensures that the products that you make are of standard quality. And if the products that you make are of a certain standard quality and safety, you will avoid having to reformulate or redevelop because you are using a formulation scribbled in a notebook that was actually the wrong formulation. So having a repository of all of your formulations as master formulations helps in so many different facets. So you can easily access the master formulation template in two ways. The first is a Canva template. So if you want your master formulations to look amazing, then this is perfect for you. So it's a very easy to use Canva template. You can just simply go in, put a picture of your product. This will allow you to do kind of quick quality control checks once you have done a formulation or once you have done a batch. You can quickly do a visual observation that it looks exactly the same as you expect. You can put in the version, formulation code, the version of your formulation, your typical or standard batch size for that particular product, and the actual unit size. Have a description for your product, write the specific use instructions for use for your product as well. And then you can customize this fully for your business with your business information and logo, just so that if anybody comes across it, it clearly belongs to your business. Then you can put in all your formulation information, so the phase, ingredient, the INCI, name, the function, and the percentage weight by weight. This is a standard industry way of documenting your formulations, so that once you're ready to do your batches, you have all of that information ready. What is the procedure? What are your quality control standards? And if there are any specific notes, you can have them here. I've also included a one-page version of this as well. So if you want to have all your product formulation on one single page, you could use this page to do so. If you're also making formulations and selling those formulations, this tool would be great, because at least the formulation looks nice and will appeal to persons that may be interested in purchasing. And then you can quickly just save your design as a PDF, and then have that available to your team, for yourself, or to potential clients or customers. The second way that you can access or develop or document your master formulation is using a Google Doc. So it's a more straightforward and typically the industry approach. So either it will be documented in a Google Sheet or in a Google Doc. Google Doc is fine in this particular case. So you can use this as a template, save it in your Google Drive, and you will include the same information that is captured in the Canva template as well. So it's really up to you to decide which of the two versions you would like to use. You're also free to use both, and you can essentially have your own repository or library of all your formulations in one central place. When you're ready to do your formulating work, when you're ready to do your batch manufacturing, you know exactly where to find all your documents, and this helps you to save time. It helps you to manage time. And as mentioned, if you're going through your checklist, for example, you know exactly, let's say for batch manufacturing, you now need to do your formulation execution. You can quickly pull on your formulation to take you through this step. You would have had your quality control parameters listed in your formulation as well, so that allows you to go through that step. It's just a simple, straightforward, and streamlined way of doing your formulations and batch manufacturing. The next tool that is available to you is your monthly production planner. It is a Google Sheet. It is one of my favorite tools because it allows you to clearly visualize what production work you are going to be doing for any given month. So you can go through, you can document what you're hoping to develop, what you're hoping to manufacture, if you're going to be doing sourcing and procurement, inventory management, quality control, stability studies, fulfillment. This allows you to map out exactly and to plan what you will be doing when. So again, by planning, by having a clear documented plan for your product development work and your batch manufacturing work, it really does help you to save time. It helps you to manage your time and ensure that you are developing products more efficiently, and that you're also developing safe and quality products as well. A big time consuming activity is calculating the raw materials you require when you're developing products or when you're manufacturing products. This product formulation calculator helps to eliminate the time spent doing that. So you have a master formulation where you have your phase, your ingredients, and your percentage weight by weight for each. You can easily and automatically calculate the mass required based on the batch size. So let us say, for example, let me see if I can pull up an example here. Just so that you get an idea of how this works. Here we go. We have a formulation for a body butter, just as an example. And whenever it is that we change the batch size, it automatically changes the mass. So you know, based on the batch size that you are trying to either for development or for manufacturing, you can easily calculate, not easily, but automatically calculate. You don't have to calculate anything. You just change your batch size. So let's say you're doing some R&D and you just want to do 500 grams. It will automatically generate the amount of raw materials you need so that you can check your inventory, or you can purchase the raw materials that you need so that you can get into the lab, and you already have it generated here. You can save this as a PDF, bring it to your kitchen countertop, or bring it to your lab bench, weigh out all the materials you need. No need for a notebook, no need for your phone calculator. It's all done here for you in this simple calculator. So you can go ahead and download that and save your own version. And I forgot to mention, if you have 2 formulations that you want to run simultaneously, you can. If you have 3 formulations that you want to run simultaneously, you can. And you can also document all your procedures, all their quality control parameters, and any notes and calculations. And then finally, also very important in helping you to develop um, your own operation so that you're efficient is batch manufacturing records. Typically speaking, by law, if you are selling products to the public, you have to have documentation of what you did when you manufactured that particular product. That piece of documentation is called a batch manufacturing record. Even if you're doing this at home, it is very likely that your country's laws require you to have documentation of when you manufactured the product, what steps you took, what raw materials you used, and from where, and the quality control activities that you did and product testing activities that you did for that particular batch. Now, to develop such a record can be a little challenging, especially if you're new to this space. So, this particular batch manufacturing record template is really done for you. All you need to do is to fill it out every time you create a batch for sale. You just fill this information in. So, putting up your product name, a code for the batch, the formulation code that you're using, what size did you make, when did you start manufacturing, when did you stop, and the expiration date. Then if there are any reference documents that you use, so for example, if you have SOPs that you're using, if you have maintained your equipment in a certain way and you're using a specific manual, you document all of that information. Then you put in your ingredients that you use, which supplier for that raw material, the lot number, the expiration date. This is for all traceability purposes, and it is required generally by law. What cleaning and sanitation procedures did you use? What equipment did you use? What procedure did you use? And what were your quality control results? So, for example, if you're making a body butter, and color is a parameter. What is the criteria? So, should it be light pink? What were the results? Light pink, so you passed. But let's say, for example, you made your body butter and instead of it being light pink, which is a criteria that you have said you have gotten deep red, then it is a failure. And if it is a failure, did you do some kind of activity to correct that? So did you add titanium dioxide to get rid of that color, to get it back to a light pink? If you did, you need to put it in so that you're documenting exactly what you did. How are you packaging it and storing it? Are you taking samples as retained samples so you can continue to monitor it? And just some approvals that the batch record has been developed by a particular person and approved. It may be by the same person. So if you're working on your own, you'll put your name, your title, your signature, your date, and then you will save this as a PDF, and that is your batch manufacturing record. How do you use this to help you save time? Every time you make a batch of the same product, much of the information will not change. So you're gonna simply fill this out as much as you can ahead of time, and then you will make the specific tweaks and the specific edits for a particular batch, and that will totally help you to save time. And also, if there are any issues on the market, so if somebody comes in and they complain that a product has not maintained its stability, or the product doesn't smell or function the way it used to, you can easily pull on your batch manufacturing record so that you can respond to them. This is a very, very important tool if you want to run a serious bath and beauty business. Even if you're doing it from home, it is very important that you have batch manufacturing records. And that takes us to the end of the time management toolkit for bath and beauty brands. I hope you will find this toolkit beneficial. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to send me an email at hello@skincarestartup.com.